The breaking news overnight from the war in Ukraine. A major dam was destroyed near the front lines. Ukraine is accusing Russian forces of causing the explosion. Foreign correspondent Tom Soufi-Burge is on the scene in Ukraine. Good morning, Tom.
Yeah, good morning, George. Real concern about the situation developing near that dam controlled by Russian forces, which was blown up overnight. Communities along the vast Dnipro River in southern Ukraine already flooded, with concerns about a nuclear plant in that area. A sense of crisis right on the front lines as Ukraine goes on the offensive. A potential humanitarian crisis developing near the front lines in Ukraine this morning. Vast quantities of water gushing over this major dam after Ukraine says Russian forces who control the surrounding area caused an explosion, possibly to disrupt a Ukrainian offensive. Russian officials initially denying the explosion, then blaming Ukraine. A top Ukrainian official now warning of an ecological disaster, saying extreme flooding caused by the dam breach could impact hundreds of thousands of people. Police urging entire communities to leave their homes, but saying some areas already cut off. One officer seen rescuing this dog, people grabbing what possessions they can. The Crimean Peninsula's water supply to the south also under threat, as is Europe's largest nuclear power plant nearby. The dam supplying water to cool its reactors. The UN's nuclear watchdog, with officials based at the Zaporizhzhia plant, closely monitoring the situation, saying there is no immediate nuclear safety risk. But President Zelensky accusing Russia of declaring war on the whole world. It comes with Ukraine ramping up attacks, reclaiming land near the city of Bakhmut, amid indications that Ukraine's counter-offensive now could be underway. The United States not weighing in on an official start, but saying the focus is making sure Ukraine is prepared.
We have done everything we can to make them ready to be able to conduct successful counteroffensive ground operations.
Now, it's noteworthy that President Zelensky of Ukraine on at least 2 occasions last year warned that Russia might try and blow that dam up. What is not clear right now is how much the flooding and the unfolding crisis might impact Ukrainian offensive operations along that crucial southern front line. George?
Okay, Tom, thanks. Let's get more now from our chief foreign correspondent, Ian Pannell. Critical dam, critical time.
Yeah, I think that's right. I mean, we've got to wait and see what the physical impact of this is. I mean, both sides are accusing each other of being responsible for it. If you look at some of the territory that the water's gone away from, it potentially helps Ukraine in the counter-offensive. You look at other parts of the territory, it denies Ukraine access to it. Both sides are blaming each other for it. I think we have to wait and see how it plays out, but it is an absolutely critical time for Ukraine and for the rest of us who've been effectively bankrolling this counter-offensive.
So tell us, why is it significant for both sides? I
think there are about 38 billion reasons why, because there's been $38 billion of US taxpayers' money that have effectively bankrolled the counter-offensive and the supply of arms to Ukraine. So all of that matters right now. This matters to Ukraine because if it can't create momentum on the battlefield, then it's going to have to accept the loss of territory. If Russia can't hold on to territory, it's going to have to accept that it has lost. And I think for America and the rest of the allies, they have to decide how much longer they can continue to support Ukraine financially if they're not seeing any impact on the battlefield. So this, I would say, is arguably the most important time throughout the entire Ukraine war.
It's so good to have you in the studio. It's hard to believe that it was almost a little over a year ago that we were both there in Kyiv. I was there to talk with the First Lady, Zelenska. And I remember I asked her, what is your message to the American people? And she said, don't get used to our pain. Yeah. Don't get used to our pain. So when we talk about the money spent and all that, we cannot forget about the people that are there and are suffering.
And we're seeing that this morning.
There we are. Ian, so good to have you here with us. Good.